Hey everyone, Film Fables is back. Megan here.
We back.
Got Rocky, and we took a little break. So just if for those who don't know, I work in insurance. Hurricane Ian hit, so I've been busting my ass working 45 days straight now. Oh, I had one day off.
You know, she's the reason why, guys. I've been on her,
He has been on
telling her like, hey, let's keep it going. So just so y'all know, we're back.
We're back.
Effect, as long as no more hurricanes come.
Yes. November 30th, the end of hurricane season. I got it till then. So for those who are new to the channel, this is a podcast about love, life, dating, all sorts of things we talk about. We have a lot of fun. We have a lot of laughs. We have some serious conversations. So if you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. If you're listening on the podcast platform, thank you so much for your support.
Appreciate it. We're still going up in subscribers, and we haven't had an episode in what, a month or two?
A little over a month. So we're back. Hopefully we'll be consistent with getting episodes out. So today we are talking about moving on. And I heard a quote the other day. I talk about Matthew Hussey a lot because he's a relationship dating British guy who's really hot, actually. But he talks a lot about dating.
What about Jay Shetty, though?
I follow Jay Shetty too.
Okay,
he's more of like inspirational life in general, but he's like, he was on with Matthew Hussey talking about actually getting over heartbreak, and Matthew Hussey said it's
First
okay.
First of all, the way y'all get over heartbreak is just listen to the new Chris Brown, Breezy Deluxe, Pillow to Pole. Chris Brown, I need some marketing bucks.
But doesn't he like beat women?
Listen, I keep telling y'all, you weren't. Or Rocky wasn't, Megan wasn't, Aziz wasn't, Garrett Murray wasn't, Tonio wasn't, in the Lamborghini.
Okay, fair.
With Chris Brown, and so we don't know what my girl Fenty Beauty did to Chris. Okay, okay.
All right,
but I love them both. All right. Moving on.
Yes, both
get on
are
that
talented.
Chris Brown and you'll be okay.
Okay, I'll go listen. So
you
the
said
quote
that the last time, by the way.
I did, and the other one was it Drake too?
Yeah, because you like Drake. You really like the white female version of Drake. You be in your feelings. Kiki, do you love me?
I am in my feelings a lot, even though people don't think I am. They think I'm such like this.
Everyone thinks you're savage, and I be trying to tell
I'm not
people, I'm
savage
like, don't
at
let
all.
the little redhead fool you. Like, she's sweet as pie.
I'm savage to people I don't know.
Well, you aren't rude, if you don't know.
Yeah.
Someone. I see the text messages like, nah, motherfucker, you ain't taking me out. Yep, fuck you. You lost out. I was like, okay, well.
Yeah, but if I care for you and I've developed that relationship with you, it's harder for me to assert myself in that way. So anyways, so I heard a quote from Matthew Hussey that said, it's okay to be disappointed that they weren't the one, but it's not okay to grieve as if they were the one. And that shit like blew my fucking goddamn mind, because for those who don't know, I started this podcast going through a breakup during COVID. And it really was therapeutic. It was 2020. 2020? What year?
We were locked down.
Yes, lockdown. So it was, it was a hard time for me.
This is the last time we're discussing you on this channel, just so you know. Okay? You know exactly who you are. You and Blondie, all right? We're done talking about you after this.
Good old GR. So, anyways, so... Yes, so it was tough for me. I'm not one of those girls that's like, oh my God, fuck him. Like, he ain't shit. No, it hurt me. I was heartbroken.
No, you've been like I told you earlier, like, you didn't even handle that like how most females are so vindictive. They're like, I'm going to go fuck his friend. I'm going to go fuck around with this guy. Or I'm just going to be posting 1,000 things. Sure, you post when you go out.
Yeah.
You post when
living
you get
my life and having fun.
Like that, but you've never done anything that would indicate that his decision was actually an intelligent or informed decision, okay?
So. Yeah. So anyways, I was going through this breakup, talked a lot about it throughout all the episodes, and it really was geared towards trying to help other people that were going through a rough time and a rough breakup and having a hard time getting over it. And I was talking to Rocky the other day, and I was like, I had an epiphany. I was really grieving for this person like they were the one. And that's why I was having this hard time. I was just stuck in this place of...
It put you in a rut.
Yeah, I was in a rut. And I was just... Because I was so connected, and this person's moved on, like...
Well, I think that's the hardest part is seeing people move on. Like, I've told you 100
especially when it's
times.
fairly quickly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've
Yeah.
told you 100 times. Like, I wasn't a fan of, oh, okay, we stopped talking on Friday and Saturday morning. You're back on Bumble, and my boy's sending me a screenshot. You know, the salon people.
Yeah.
So, anyways, like at the end of the day, like I feel like it's tough to deal with all of that shit in general, but when someone moves on, you're like, well, wait, did I mean anything?
Right.
Like,
what was this even?
What was this? Like, was it a fuck thing, or was it just that I'm another stop? Like, I get sometimes you're just not compatible with someone, you guys just don't have that. Okay, that's fine, but damn, dog, like, and I've seen it in men and women. I've seen it from you. I've seen it from me. I've seen it from other friends, and it's like, I literally don't know how that works. So it's like I've always said to you, I'm thinking that he always knew her in some way on the back end.
Or, I mean, I don't. So, he was still on the dating app when we were talking. He actually made like a cute, like he actually chatted me on the dating app, like, hey there. And I was like, I wonder if he did that because he was still on it and he thought I could see him on there. I don't know. That's the thing too.
Exactly what happened. I'm telling you, I'm a man. That's what happens. When you get caught, that's the kind of shit you do. Like, hey, on the app. But me, I wouldn't have hit you up on that.
Yeah. But I think that's a part of it too.
That disable.
You ruminate and you think about what could have been. What if I did this differently? What if this had happened? Like you said, we had a great physical chemistry with each other.
Exactly.
There were other issues.
It up is when all of that is, because that's like people. We've talked about this before. Not really talked about it. But we like briefly. But like people pretend that that's like not huge. That's like
that's a top 3 thing for me.
Because men and women are different. Like women can't really do the friends with benefit thing because
I can't.
They develop feelings usually though.
I know women that have.
So
but
I'm just saying when you have a connection with someone sexually, that's a big battle right there because you're always wanting that old thing back. I feel like. But on the other flip side, you're like, okay, well. He says that it's not that great there, but he keeps going back. So then it makes you question. Which I've been there. Like when I'm like, hey.
What is true and what is.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah. Like, you've said it. Like, the biggest thing I think about you not being able to move on is there's so many question marks. So the best thing to do, because he's not man enough to address the question marks, okay, is what you've been doing. You've moved on in your own way, your own time, how you see fit. Don't listen to you haven't listened to any of us be like, why the fuck are you worried about him? Blah, 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 blah. Every one of us. Yeah. Down the line. And you don't listen, but in the same sense, I can't knock you because you're better now than you were before. And we used to be on this bitch weekend and weekend. I'm glad y'all followed us, but we were whining about the exes and shit like that. This sucks because I have to be honest. Like, I kind of get where she's coming from because like I had all these questions like, why didn't things go this way or why, and I'm like, at the end of the day, you have to start to look at yourself first, hold yourself accountable because you put yourself in that predicament. Like that person cannot treat you like shit unless you put yourself in that situation. That's 100% true. That's having some kind of humility, right? But the other side is you're like, well, damn, I did this, and that. Why would they even want to do me like that? And then I tell people, you got to start to dial it back and say, okay, well, like me, I always revert back to the biggest downfall, and I felt like in that relationship was when she said to me, this isn't time for another Black History lesson. I'm like, you're the girl I would have gave it all up for at some point. And you're like telling me, like, I'm a black man.
Right.
Fuck all that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a black man, but like I'm a man in general. Like that's just not cool to say, So I totally, like, when she came to me with this topic, we came together because we basically had the same kind of question mark around
certain
two
relationships.
Different people.
Yeah, I think everybody has a certain relationship probably in mind because I've had much longer relationships that I moved on fairly quickly from because they were pretty amicable. Like this was a lot of like push, pull, drama.
And you're cool with them, and you guys both decide like adults to just part ways,
right.
And you're like, we're better off as friends type shit.
Yeah.
Like everything's good. But when people just do dirty shit, like we continue to keep talking about, when are you gonna get your stuff out? Like, I haven't lived there, chick, in 3 fucking years. Why are we still discussing? You know, the only thing I want is my fucking Muhammad Ali painting. That's
okay, well, go get your Muhammad Ali painting, bitch.
Then she gonna try to rape me. I'm good.
That's
good.
true. She's just trying to rein
seduction.
You in to get you.
Listen, I'm not doing it. So but it's like, why be petty like that? If you treated me that bad, you know, and I treated you that bad, you should burn that shit.
Because people like control and they want to fucking win. Toxic ass people, it's about control and it's about winning.
But if I'm as bad as she said, my Aunt Ursula always says this. She goes, if you're as bad as they try to make you out to be when they get mad at you, then why do they always come back around? Because they do.
Yeah, no, that's true. So you said a few things that I want to touch on that I think are very important. So you said, for me.
Why am I always fucking with this mic, man? Damn.
You said all these people have told you this, but you've kind of done it on your own. And I want people to know grieving has no timeline. Like, you do it in your own time and you reach this space that when you're ready in your own time. Honestly, it's taken me 2 years. Granted, this person has come in and out of my life over the 2-year span. It's not like we broke up and he left me alone. No, he's not. So it kind of halted. But to your point too, I allowed some of that, right? I allowed that back in my life. I believed and I trusted and I got burned. And that's on me to some extent. And then also, what was the other thing that you said that was important? I think a lot of it was just about...
Everything I say is important, Megan.
Ooh, that was the other thing. You can sit there and question what if all day, or what if this happened, or how could I have changed this, or what if I were better, or blah, 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 blah. And you will kill yourself doing that. You will never get out of it. So you have to give yourself a storyline.
That leads to what I was just telling you, though. Look at you now. Compared to,
oh my God, I could barely talk about it without like tearing up.
That's what I'm saying. In February, the first time I ever came on here, the first episode is the day she went to my house. Remember?
Oh yeah,
I was here, training, and I called you. I was like, "This is gonna be on the fucking podcast on the first episode." So it's like back then you were like, we'd have to like talk about that shit off camera because you would get every time red on me, and I'm like, but that's when you like, listen, fellas, like women out here. Are just like men, there's shitty men and there's shitty women, but like there's really good women out here like 100%. Her. She was like butt hurt, like you know, like
I mean, I
hated to see her like this, but like fellas, like that's the kind of woman you want to lock in with. This is where I'm actually giving relationship advice.
Oh,
like,
here we go. Well.
That's someone that holds himself accountable, someone that has empathy for you, right? Like. Dude, this guy is a fucking tool bag, and this girl's like upset, like, and I'm like, you can't tell someone how to get over anything.
No.
And what I did was, as much as I wanted to tell you, like, yo, fuck him, like, no, I let you go on. Yeah. We've all let you go on because you, like I said, you haven't listened to anyone. Okay. Kim, anyone.
That's fair.
Like
That's
Joaquin, anybody can tell. That, Mike, mom, whoever can say, you don't listen to no one. Like, I've literally beat her up and she's ready to attack me on the show instead, But she's come a long way.
I have.
And I think like moving on for you, I think this is like your rebirth. Like, you started this over the bullshit with him, but this is like the breakthrough finally because for one, we've never prepared for the podcast and you've been so like lenient. Usually you're like, fucking right now. Over here, what the fuck? Like, I'm like, okay, shit. Today, sis comes in.
Who wouldn't want to date me?
She let me go to the liquor store. She let me smoke the blunt. Like, not anything like before because now you're at a point where when the right guy rolls up now, you're in trouble, fellas. She been tapped out for like a year.
So all that to say, don't let anybody tell you where you should be in your grieving process. How fast you should move on because people can come into your life very quickly and leave a heavy ass fucking mark on you. People can be in your life a long time and not leave as big of a mark. Time has no relevance when it comes to
That's
love.
The problem is the short-term stuff that affects you more than the long-term.
But don't you think, though, maybe it's the short-term because it's the dream. It's the idea of what you thought could happen.
A lot of times that shit is real.
Not what actually happened.
It's people that don't know how to dial it in.
Yeah.
Like, I'm telling you, like, some of that, like, I don't say every situation, but some of it could legit be for you. It's just, that's where you have that empty spot because you're like, damn, we could be dope together.
Yeah.
Like, I've met chicks that I'm like, man, we could literally be the Jay-Z and Beyonce around here. Like, but if it's not equally yoked,
100%,
it just doesn't pan out. So the biggest thing is realizing that the short-term stuff, like you just said, is because that's
sometimes the hardest to get over.
You want it so bad. That's what happens is once you get in that position, like I was talking to you about earlier, like you just get to a point as a man where you're like, I want to lock this shit down. I'm done with it. Like, the player shit, I posted that shit on my Instagram. Like, the player shit ain't cool no more. Like, it's just not. Like,
it's not cute.
And the women shit, like, it used to be cool to have hoes, like, multiple. Like, that's just not cool no more. It's just not. Because women are worse in most cases now than us. Y'all is crazy. So that's why I always give her much props for, like, that made me see a different side of her, because I've always just felt like she was just a little fire crotch. She was fucking this big, wearing some Jankos and some fucking shell toes, and will cuss you the fuck out in high school. Like, what the fuck is going on?
High school Megan was something.
But now it's like, to see her like that and that kind of, but again, like I said, I feel like this is your real deal breakthrough. Like, I feel like finally you're at a point where you'll do the extra things that we discussed, but you've made huge strides, and I'm very proud of you for that. And you know, as far as moving on, like when you have people in your life that you see that they're struggling, and they also are your struggle bus assistant. Like, she's plenty of times I've told her, like, Megan, this is, and she's like, it's all right, you got to do it. So it's like, you use those people, and like, you need those people. So like, if you have good people in your life, like, keep them. Yep. Keep them, because that's how we get through all this crazy shit.
And if you're listening and you have somebody who's struggling and grieving, you got to understand, again, they're going to have to go through the process. You just
do what we did with her.
Yeah.
Let those people handle the grieving the best way they see fit, because in the end, the more that you push them to try to do what you see fit, they're going to go in the opposite direction. Yeah. Every time I told her, you don't need to fucking talk to this dude. You don't need to do this.
There I was.
I get an iPad screen at fucking 10 o'clock at night with a fucking book. I'm like, I need to shut the fuck up, like, because I'm a shit eater at times as well. So let me shut the fuck up. And like I said, not just because I've known you forever and I know your brothers, whatever, but like, I do respect you as a woman for how you've handled this shit, and I'm proud of you for fucking, listen, eventually we're gonna be talking about the dude that finally scooped Megan.
I know.
Dummies. If y'all want the plug, y'all want the insight on how to really get in here, because I'm screening all y'all from now on. So, you know, hit me up, hit my line.
So I think one of the big pieces of the puzzle for me was there was a lot of question marks, and a lot of question marks leave you wondering a lot of stuff, and that's where it really, you have to give yourself a storyline to replay in your head every time you want to question the question mark. So for me, it was, regardless of all the things he did to me in the past, I felt I got done dirty. Whatever, he has his reasons, I have my reasons. We're all just trying to make it in life, right? We all fuck up. We're all trying to do our best. We're all not perfect. We all got shit, baggage, whatever.
That's the problem.
But
we stop judging each other.
Right. So I had to let that go because I wanted to understand why he did these things. Nope. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if he were the person for me, he would be here.
And that is the hardest part of moving on, because you want that person more than you fucking need them. So what happens is you get caught up, like me. I used to get caught. I just told Tony this the other day. I got caught up in every Saturday morning we went to Recipe Pots. And I never wanted to go to TJ Maxx or fucking Home Goods with a woman, but I did that and missed my college football every motherfucking Saturday. And then I had to realize that the real girl who loves me will go call up her homie to go to Home Goods and all that, and not have a problem with the fact that I like sports. Yeah. Just like with him. You have to realize that if all you have going for you in terms of, like I was telling someone earlier, fuck the financial shit.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
gay.
care about being
what
like,
you have going for you as a woman that has morality, like I said, empathy for people, like is a good woman. If that's not good enough for him, it just gets to a point.
I'm not the woman for him, and that's okay.
And so when
he's not the man. Actually, you know
that,
what? He's not the man for me. Let's flip the script. He is not the man for me, and that's okay. Because letting go of that person, when you finally do, you're allowing the universe to give you the person you deserve, and who's going to give you everything you want and love you for who you are.
My life coach always says that it's all about the universe.
100%. I'm very spiritual. If y'all don't know,
I'm very about that shit. Like I believe what you put out into the universe is legit. It's real. And you got to like manifest the good shit just like 100%. You manifest the bullshit. We continue to manifest the bullshit. We continue to put our time in the toxic people, situations. And it's
even thinking about them blocks.
It's what you said, though. It's because you want that one little piece of something that made you feel like that person was the person. You want that little portion back, but you're never going to fucking get it.
No. And that's the thing, too. If you're grieving over somebody that maybe it didn't end well or there may have been betrayal involved or whatever, I think Rocky just hit like a fucking huge thing is that you're craving for what you had. But even if that person comes back to you, what you had is no longer there. You're either rebuilding from scratch and you're trying, if you do try again, but if not, there's always going to be that. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know how you can go back and forth as an adult with somebody so much.
Well, the problem is when people try again, they don't change. Like for instance, the salon people. I used to go back and forth with her all the time.
Yeah.
Right? But every time I took her back, it wasn't like she stopped fucking wearing clothes that she shouldn't be wearing. Like, you know, I tell you females, dress for the size you are, not the size you want to be. It didn't stop her from drinking $3 beers at Kahuna's. It didn't stop her from going to Ducky's, stopping out
wear
every
what they
Sunday.
want. You stop it.
If you don't knock it off.
Stop it.
So I'm just saying, like, I had to finally come to grips with myself. Like, I can't keep going back in the fire. The more you go back in the fire with the toxic people, it makes you a worse fucking individual. Like, I literally, now compared to what I was when I was dealing with that shit, like, I'm surprised it's not a hole in the wall everywhere in this bitch. Like, and that's the thing. I don't want that. Like, I keep telling people, I read a thing the other day, like, I don't want to be crazy. Jay Shetty, I don't want to be crazy in love anymore. Like,
I want to be calm in love.
Like, calm. Like,
be my peace, not my problem, bitch.
When I dealt with that situation, I thought, oh, she's ratchet. She going crazy, acting. That means she loves me. No, that's not what I need for my life, nor does that motivate me anymore. That may have motivated me when I was 20 years old. Fucking old as shit right now. Like 42 in January. On a fucking, you know.
Capricorn.
Cappy. But honestly, that's just what it comes down to is knowing when to, like, honestly, cut your losses. And I think the more you deal with that shit, I became such a shitty person that, and I'm cool with admitting that. Like, you saw a couple times where I was like, this bitch is fucking, and it's like, but that affects me in general. It's not just me talking to Megan. It's not me talking to Tonio. It's not me talking to Shane. It's not me talking to Wayne. That becomes my life. I come in up top and I'm supposed to train someone. I'm fucking flipping out. Yeah. Instead, I'm in the middle of a real estate transaction where normally I'll be like, hey, fuck you over the $5,000. No, fuck you. I want this fuck you. So it's like, it affects your life as a whole. So I tell people the truth is, like, right now we got to, like, hone in on this shit and not let it, like, consume you. Yeah. You were consumed.
Oh, 100%.
You were 100% consumed.
And now I'm not consumed. And the other day, and I know for those who are grieving and think maybe you lost the one or whatever, it's such a refreshing moment when you're like, when you go through your day and you're like, I didn't think about them once.
I just told you that the other day. I just told you that shit. I was like driving down the street. I seen her niece. I was like, damn, I dated you. I forgot. Like,
right.
I literally.
And at one point, you never probably thought you'd get there.
Before, I used to every day drive down the street. Oh, I see a car. I see this license plate. Oh, I see this. And now I'm like, I be like so zoned out. And then I'm like, oh shit. The other day I saw her niece. I'm like, oh shit, I dated. I told you. I was like zoned out on the whip. I'm like, damn, I dated her. Like, so. That like
it's such a refreshing
that was refreshing though. I was like, I went to my boy Bronson's shop. I was like, dog, I was not even. He was like, I know. So it's like, that's where you've been. Usually I get the fucking You guys, this shit was a textbook, all right? The thick English book, English honors, pre-AP, Plant High School. She would send me literature on the fucking, and if you're an Apple person like us, the iPad, the iPad tells on you. Everybody knows I write books.
Hey, he sent me books too.
It's great to send books,
of lies.
But your books be daggers. No. So you can say you're only savage when it comes to people you don't know, but
I mean, it can be, but I don't ever feel I was savage. It was more of like
I've seen you hit the dagger.
Why are you coming back around just to fuck with me? I'm a good person at the end of the day. So why are you doing that? Because you want to know why? Because I'm always here when you do. So.
And this time she ain't here, bitch.
So anyways, we're going to wrap it up. So if you are going through a heartache, I say heartache because heartache lasts longer than heartbreak. There's a difference. I want you to know you will get on
heartbreak.
The other side of it. You just have to, 1, let go of the dream of the person because that's what you're probably most tied to. 2, be disappointed, but don't grieve them like they were the one. And 3, give yourself a storyline so when you are ruminating about what if, what that, they said this, they did that, they did that, why did that?
Not a capping ass storyline, salon people.
Right. This person, if they were for me, they would be here. My person is not with somebody else.
Booyah. We out this bitch. That's all we need.
Thank you guys for watching. Bloop, bloop. See you guys on the next one. Thank you for listening on the podcast. Bye.
Hit that subscribe button.
Hit subscribe. Bye.